What's up, everybody? Today I'm here to review The Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 2, titled Sick. Now, before I get off into this review, let me address two matters about The Walking Dead Season 3 premiere. Because these questions was going around and they finally got revealed. So let me address these. Now, people asked, why come Rick cuts off Herschel's leg with no hesitation at all, without even thinking? He just cuts it off. But then in season 2, he decides to save Randall's leg, even though they was in a way worse death scenario with walkers coming towards them. And I asked myself that too, because I mean, the way he just cuts off Herschel's leg with no remorse at all, no hesitation. And as the leader, I totally understand this, because don't nobody want to have that greed, that guilt on their shoulder. So Rick was forced to do this. But yet, it was revealed within the time skip that we never got to see. The group had an agreement. That's right, they had an agreement. Anybody in the group that gets bit and they are capable of saving, perfect example, if they get bit on their arms, legs, and they're capable of saving, the group agreed to, yes, you can decapitate that part to save my life. Basically, that's how it was. They did agree to that, and they did agree to those terms of decapitating their body parts if it's capable of saving their life still. If they get bit anywhere that's capable, you know what I'm saying. Back wise, you can't really do nothing. Stomach wise, you can't do nothing. But like I say, legs and arms. Next, people was wondering, why come Carl and Laura has this animosity towards each other, and why come Carl talk to Laura the way he did in episode 2, telling her to get off his back. It's also revealed that Carl finds out about her and Shane's affair. Yes, that's right. Within that time skip, we never got to see Carl finds out. And go back to the season 2 finale. Carl really cared about Shane, because when Rick admitting to killing Shane, Carl literally balls up to Laura. He literally grabs her and starts crying. And he feels that it's Laura's fault for Shane's death. And it was her fault, causing conflict between them two. And it was. Now, let's get off into the review. We see from the previous episode where we see Herschel get his leg decapitated by Rick, or amputated. Now, we see the 5 prisoners. We see the 5 prisoners. We see Big Tiny, Axel, Oscar. We see Tomas. That is kind of how they changed it. Tomas. We see Tomas, and we also see Andrew. Now, I know a lot of people ain't been saying this, but do you guys realize that Andrew is Tomas' right hand man? Now, Tomas is the dude with the long hair, and Andrew is the African American dude that was always backing up Tomas every time he said something to Rick. And we see they have conflict because I mentioned this before. Tomas is the alpha male of the group. And it's revealed that they was basically stuck in a lunchroom for 10 fucking months. And they also stated that a security guard locked them in there while the attack was going on from the walkers, and while the infection was spread, he locked them up in, and he also gave Tomas a gun. And let me say this. Let me touch on this, because a lot of people didn't know this either. Tomas and Andrew was basically the fucking bullies the whole time they was in that lunchroom. And what I mean by this, they was fucking bullying they was bullying Big Tiny, and I think the only reason he let them do that because they had a gun. And they was also bullying Axel, because Axel is kind of soft, as you can tell. Axel is the white male, the sharp one. And they was also bullying Oscar. So yes, they was like basically being bullies up in the whole time they was in their lunchroom. And basically we see them take Herschel off. We see Rick them take Herschel off, and we see Tomas, because we knew they was there first. So Thomas does have conflict with Rick, as I mentioned before, and he states, why didn't you take him to the hospital? And Rick say, how long have you been in there? And Tomas said, for 10 fucking months. Now, 10 months. So, let's talk about this. 10 fucking months. Okay. Rick, let's go back to season 1 when Rick went into his coma, was in the hospital. You mean to fucking tell me it ain't even been a year yet and it got more fucking walkers than humans now? Jesus Christ. The human population is very low. Humans, I said this before, humans is on the verge of extinction. But humans is barely fucking existing anymore. There's more walkers than humans within a 10-month time frame. Period. 10-month time period. Jesus. Walkers and took the whole world over in 10 months. That's crazy. And we also see Oscar, and Oscar tell Rick, say man, do you have a cell phone I can use? Cause they didn't know what was going on outside the real world. They was stuck in there for 10 fucking months. He talking about his kids, his girl, and like Rick tells him, say man, everybody's dead. Cause Tomas asks Rick where he from, and Rick states, I'm from Atlanta, of course. So they go outside and Rick brings them to reality. And they realize, and then like Rick tells them, everybody is sick. And Daryl states, if I shoot you right now in the chest with a bow and arrow, you will come back. That's what Daryl tells them. And you see Tomas and Rick start to get this conflict because Tomas states that the cell block that Rick is in, C block, which is C block, he states that is his block. And he still has belongings in there. And you see how T-Dog has stepped his role up. And because I think T-Dog is definitely making... I think Daryl is doing it better in terms of being Rick's right-hand man. But I definitely think T-Dog is doing all right, too. And we see how T-Dog has really gotten lines and really stepped T-Dog role up this time. And we see how T-Dog steps in with his gun to, come down now. And we see how Daryl never trusts them. Daryl always had his crossbow on them every time. You can never say he didn't. So it comes to a point where Tomas, it's also mentioned that Tomas thought Rick was weak. That's the reason why he was always testing him. And it wasn't even a test in general. He thought Rick was weak. He took Rick as just because Rick wasn't I can't say he was acting kind towards him, but he thought Rick was weak. That was just how it was. He thought Rick was a pushover. So he states to Rick, because Rick tells him basically, if you give us some, because Rick asks him how much food you got in that lunchroom, and Tomas say a little, and then basically Rick say I won't have for it. Then you have Andrew, who's Tomas' right hand man. He comes and get in. You heard him? He only said a little. I'm like, Jesus. So basically, Andrew is he's a co-signer for Tomas, as we could tell. And once because let me say this too. Tomas did state, because you can tell how he kind of disrespect Rick them in the group. He did call Rick, Daryl, and T-Dog pussies. He said if these pussies can take out these walkers, we can at least do something ourselves. Because he was trying to get them to go to the riverfront where they was at first. And then when Rick tells him, we planted seeds and stuff out there. We're gonna turn it into a garden. So there was conflict and somebody had to die, because you cannot have two alpha diamond males coexist in the same group. I said this before, and it's proven facts. Perfect example, Shane and Rick. Wasn't going to happen. Eventually somebody was gonna die. Tomas is just like another Shane, except shit. He didn't cover nothing up. He just did what he killed off back. Next, they go to the room. They go to a lunchroom, and Rick looks new, and so Rick's just looking. He's like, "This is more than you claimed about the food." Because Tomas said they had from what he was saying, they had very little food, And then Tomas say, it goes away very fast. And then we see Rick open this door, and this was kind of funny when he opened up that door. And then he smelt it, and then he just bagged back because they actually had feces in there because they didn't have nowhere else to use the bathroom. Leaving that scene, this is what get me. We see Laurie and Rick talking. Listen to me, they was talking, and Rick was stating that he would have to kill them prisoners. It was stated in print. He would have to kill them, and Laurie tells him, do what you have to. But yet, Rick tells her, you say this now. Just like she said, and the reason why Rick said this because she said the same thing with Rick, with Shane. Oh, Shane wants me, and he think I'm his. So Rick basically gonna have to do something. But yet, when Rick kills Shane, she makes a whole 360 turn and just her mindset completely changes and get mad and forgot what she told Rick to do. Even with Randall, he asked her the same thing and she say, do whatever you gotta do. And then Rick looks at her and he say, are you okay? Or he looks at her, he say, are you okay with this though? She was second guessing herself. She just do what you have to do. Why would you say do what you have to do, but then you second guessing yourself? That's the reason why Rick told her, you say this now. Just point blank. But then this is when shit get real. We see what Rick gives them weapons. Rick doesn't give them like physical weapons like handguns or nothing. Cause Tomas already had a gun. I stated this before. He said he got it from a security guard. He gives them like hand weapons though. In him, Rick and T-Dog and Daryl tells the prisoners, stab them in the head. Stab them in the head. That's how you kill them. And then Tomas, being the alpha male that he is, and he is the leader of the prisoners, he states that you don't gotta tell us how to kill a man. And T-Dog states, now I can't remember exactly how he put it, he say, those, they ain't men. It's common sense. Those people are not fucking men. So they get in the hallway, and we see them attack a fucking walker like it was a fucking prison riot. This is not the prison riot. They shanking the walker, beating them with bats, and you can see Rick T-Dog and Dad just looking at him like, this is not a fucking prison riot. Y'all still have this prison fucking mentality, shanking them and shit, and he's still fucking standing. And then we see how a lot of walkers come. We see Big Tiny. Big Tiny's the African American with the facial hair. We seen this walker literally, because we all know that walkers have rotten flesh. So we seen how he takes his handcuffs and he rips off his hand and he scratches Big Tiny in the back. And basically after it's over, we see how Rick was just staring at him, and then Andrew makes a statement. He say, why can't you decapitate him like you did Herschel? He didn't say Herschel's name though. And Rick say, there's nothing we can do, because basically Big Tiny was scratched on his back. And Big Tiny say, oh man, I'm not sick. He didn't even get that many words out. Here go Tomas. He literally hits him in the back of the head and beats the man fucking top of his head. Literally, when you seen the scene, his top of his head was fucking gone. And this right here definitely identified how brutal a fucking human can be. Remember, fight the fucking dead, definitely fear the fucking living. Because we seen Tomas beat this man, we seen this blood, and we seen this dark fucking complexity of him. I mentioned this. That show you how capable what humans are fucking capable of. Even in the fucking zombie apocalypse. In that world, it's basically survival of the fucking fittest. And the way he killed that man was fucking unnecessary. He didn't have to kill that man that fast like that. Then we see where they get in this room, and Rick tells Tomas, open only one side of the door. So Tomas is just playing around, jerking at first. Then he busts 2 doors open intentionally. Listen, intentionally. Because a lot of people ain't really getting that. A lot of people, I don't hear a lot of people saying, oh, I just hear people say he busted the door open. That was intentionally. Because Rick told him. Rick stated, open up one side of the door because they make it less walkers. If you open up both of those doors at the same time, the whole fucking group can bust in at the same time. When it's easier for us to just take a couple out coming through one door. But yet he intentionally bust open up both doors so all the walkers can come out. So he can set up a plan to kill Rick. And it's another thing I don't hear people talking about. We seen where they were fighting the walkers, and we seen where Tomas swung that weapon, and he tried to make it. He tried to make it look like it could have been an accident if he would have killed Rick. He swings that weapon at that walker, but also extends the reach. He also put his reach out so he can try to cut Rick with the weapon. And Rick dodges. What he didn't realize was, this is not the fucking same man, or well, he didn't even know Rick. This is not the same man from season 1 and season 2 that had this lucky go happy mentality or human. Well, Rick is really starting to lose his humanity. I hope he can gain it back with Jesus Christ as zombie apocalypse. And what I realized is this is not the same man that we first seen in season 1 and season 2. He sees humans as fucking threats now, because and it's a good thing, because at one point he stated in season 1, because when Daryl's about to kill Jim, he puts a gun to Daryl's head and he tells Daryl, we do not kill a living. That's until season 2 episode, I can't remember what episode it was, but it's titled Nebraska. Remember when Rick killed Dave and Tony at that bar? And then he take Randall as a hostage. Basically, he didn't take him as a hostage, but he took him because he didn't want Randall to know where they was and stuff. So he decided to kill Randall. And Dale was the only person who kept his humanity. But at this point, you can't view the world as the fucking same no more, because you have good people doing whatever it takes to survive now. Does it make them bad for doing what they're doing? No, because like I stated before, it's survival of the fucking fitness. And Dale tells Rick something that he first said in season 2 that I just mentioned. Dale states to Rick, he says, what happened to not killing the living? And I'll never forget this. Rick say, yeah, that's before the living tried to kill us. So I'm so glad Rick opened up his eyes and he realized his brother. He opened up his eyes and like literally let this black and white world go and realized that humans would kill fucking humans for simple shit. It can be shit that we take for granted, water, food, and all type of stuff. That's nothing to us. But in the zombie apocalypse, that's something. Especially shelter. Rick killed Dave and Tony over shelter because they were trying to find out where they was staying. So that right there took that episode definitely made Rick mind, in terms of his mind perspective, change how he views the world. And Shane also played a 90% part in that. Now we see back to the review. We see what's his name? Fuck, I can't remember his name. But we see where he busts open the door, and like I said before, yeah, Tomas. We see where he swings at Rick, and he also, when he opens up that door, he states shit happened, because Rick tells him, I told you to open up one door, and Tomas say shit happens. And then we see how he takes a walker and throws it on Rick. Like I say, that jailhouse mentality. Just like when you playing just like when they play basketball and they do dirty tricks to each other, shove each other and shit. He takes that walker and tries to have Rick killed, and Daryl saves Rick by stabbing Walker in the head. And we see where Rick gets up, and Rick is really contemplating about killing this guy, because strike one, like I told you before, this is not the same man. Rick is not the same man we had in season 1 and season 2. Strike one was already taken when he tried to swing at Rick, and like I say, he thought Rick was soft from the beginning. And Rick looks at him. contemplating about killing. And you can also look at Rick, and Rick was also thinking. It's revealed that Rick was thinking he was trying to set up a decent cut because he didn't want Tomas to dodge it. So he literally looks at him. He say, "Shit happens," and you can see the tension between them two. You sense a death coming, and you can see where Rick literally cuts him in the head with the machete, like his scar just boom kills him instantly. Now let me say this. This what get me, how people be bitching and complaining, how people's complaining. Well, he didn't have to kill Andrew. Andrew didn't do him nothing. Oh, you fucking guys blind. Andrew picked up a bat and tried to hit Rick with it. Rick had to defend himself. Rick kicked Andrew on the fucking ground. Because like I said before, Andrew was Tomas' right hand fucking man. His right hand man. You cannot risk that. It's you can't do that. Because he did the same thing with Shane. What he did when Shane tried to kill him with that this is when he saw the world different and viewed people trying to redeem people and shit. When Shane threw that wrench at Rick and tried to kill him, Rick still went back and saved Shane and got him off that bus. But at the end of the day, Shane still tried to murder him. Like Shane told him, what you think, you gonna ride off into the sun? Basically go on vacation and act like this never happened. Shane say, man, we tried to kill each other, man. That ain't gonna work. You just killed, so basically you just killed this man friend. Eventually, if you would have let him live, he was gonna kill you. He was gonna kill you. At least he was gonna try to. So there. I don't blame him for what he did to Andrew. He let Andrew run outside and locked him out there. You can't take no risk, and Rick learns this. Point blank fucking simple. Don't take no risk. You did that shit with Shane, and what turned around, Shane tried to kill you again. And like I say, Shane played a 90% role. Moving on. We also see Herschel come back, and we also realize that Carol is trying to do C-sections because Herschel is still alive, but he can't do it no more because he's handicapped. But yes, so she decides to experiment on a female walker, and we see somebody staring at her in the woods. Now this could possibly be another prison that we didn't know about, or this could be, I don't know who could it be, but it could possibly be another prisoner that we didn't know about. But I think this role will play off into one of those episodes where we see Rick talking about somebody is playing games, and we see somebody cut a lock with an axe letting the walkers in. So this could be the same person that this could be the same person that we seen staring at Carol. Now that person could be doing this in one of them episodes, letting those walkers in that prison. And we also see Laurie and Rick talking, of course, and we see how Rick has really changed because Laurie states to Rick, I thought you was coming outside to talk about our relationship, and Rick didn't really say nothing, but we can see how he thanks her for being for saving Herschel, giving him Al because he stopped breathing at one point. And we can see how she how he told her that you're not a bad mother, because basically she did mention that. But this guy right here is going off the edge, man. This man is like on the edge of losing his humanity. Just saying. So yeah, this was my review for Walking Dead Season 2. Or it's Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 2, times 6. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe, rate, comment. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.